Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. Today is Monday, the first day of April. Of course, April Fool's Day. It's also Boomer Bonus Day, Fossil Fool's Day, Fun Day, International Fun at Work Day, International Tattling Day. No, not tattling, tatting. Okay, so like tattoos. Lupus Alert Day, National Jump in Mud Puddles Day, National 1 Cent Day, Sour Bread Day, Trombone Players Day, Reading is Funny Day, St. Stupid's Day, I don't know what that means, and U.S. Air Force Academy Day. And happy anniversary to my brother and sister-in-law. They were married on April Fool's Day.
Yes, they were.
And none of us knew if they were really getting married or what the heck was going on, but that was kind of cool. And they've been together a long time.
They have.
So
Very long time.
I lost my bet. I guessed 5 years. And just kidding. No. They've been awesome together. It's also a Movie Star Monday. Our guest, Tim Blake Nelson, has been in a bunch of amazing movies. Dune Part 2, Holes, Brother, Where Art Thou? He's got a film that he just did with his son, Henry Nelson, Asleep in My Palm. We're going to talk with both of them on this Movie Star Monday.
Whether you have a credit card now and need a better credit card, or if you don't even have a credit card but you'd like to get a good one, we would love to help at bettercreditcards.com. We offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we can help you find a good fit for you at bettercreditcards.com.
Give yourself a little credit
At bettercreditcards.com.
with bettercreditcards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. If you're one of those drivers who experience an anxious moment of should I stay or should I go when you get to an amber traffic light, you might be interested in this. There's some experts right now at North Carolina State University thinking that we should add a fourth light, a white traffic signal, to the classic red, yellow, green pattern. Why? Well, for a number of reasons. After conducting a number of tests, authors said adding a fourth light, a white light, would shorten wait times for pedestrians, improve traffic flow for cars, and the fourth signal would be called a white phase, would take advantage of increasingly popular autonomous vehicles' ability to communicate wirelessly with each other and the computers in control of traffic signals. They say when these vehicles would approach an intersection, they would activate the white light. The white light would tell human drivers to simply follow the car in front of them, signaling the AVs are coordinating their movement to facilitate efficient traffic flow through the intersection.
That's just going to be confusing.
There was a time where
There's going to be all kinds of accidents.
And there were like green arrows and green flashing arrows and yellow arrows, and when the green flashing arrow and the yellow arrow meant the same thing, people didn't know. And I know someone who was in an accident because of one of those. So just be careful. Red, yellow, green, we got this.
So how do you like these gas prices? Not great, huh? How would you like to save money every time you get gas? I've been using this app for a few years and it's amazing. You can find out more at radiosavings.com. When I first heard about it, I didn't think we'd have this in our area, but they seem to have stuff all over the place. You can sign up for free and try it for yourself. They have savings on gas, but on many other things too, like restaurants and convenience stores. Try it for free at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by Genesis Gold, IRA.com. Heidi, did you know that Berlin's legendary techno scene has been added to the Germans' National Registry of Intangible Cultural Heritage for Germany? They recognize
And rightfully so.
creative and diverse cultural expressions and their wealth of traditional knowledge, according to German Commissioner of UNESCO's website, UNESCO. The German capital city has long been known for their vibrant techno club scene, which originated in the early 90s and signified a resilience and return of optimism following the fall of the Berlin Wall. So that's kind of cool. And I've heard that music before, and I can tell you, it's not like it's bad music at all, because it's pretty cool. It's like very peppy and upbeat. But I'm pretty sure...
I think it's really interesting.
It is very... But I'm thinking you could use that for torture if you had to listen to it too long. Because I'm like, okay, can I just... My heart has been racing. Can we just slow it down a notch? Just a notch. All right, we don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Scarlett Johansson is in talks to star in the new Jurassic World sequel, because, you know, we need at least one more of those. Rogue One director Gareth Edwards is set to direct and I don't know for sure that I said his name right. The plot details are being kept under wraps. I'm going to tell you what I think it's going to be: some dinosaurs.
Most likely.
And
Couple
things
of
are gonna go-
dinosaurs. Things are going to go awry.
And then Chris Pratt, who's also signed up, he'll come in. He'll save the day. Sam Neill might be in this as well. Jeff Goldblum, maybe. Laura Dern, possibly. BD,
You got to have
maybe.
all of them.
They're all on the list of maybes, so I don't know. It probably depends on.
They're waiting until they see a script.
Yeah, and budget is probably more like it. And Sam Levinson is moving the Euphoria storyline away from high school into early adulthood. HBO has agreed to give the showrunner more time to get it right. The racy teen show was already delayed because of last year's double strike, so they're saying, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of making these high school kids, let's make them older so we don't, get in trouble for doing the things that we plan to do.
Good call.
Yeah. I can think of a documentary that just
Read the room.
pretty much, yeah. All right, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com.
Do you have a mobile phone? How much do you pay every month? If that number is more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. In a recent interview, Gwyneth Paltrow said that she's incredibly close to the common woman. Here's how you know you're not. Well, you refer to them as the common woman. I think that's really funny. Heidi, I'm very close to the common man. Actually, I'm very much
I have things I would love to say, but
I'm
I
very
think
much
I will
a common
keep
man.
it to
so
myself.
I know. I appreciate that too. Dollar Tree announced they're planning to close 1,000 stores. That makes me so sad.
Yikes.
Now, I have a whole list of things that I didn't know where else to share this. It was going to be the list, but there's too many. I'm going to just do it here. And today's the day, April Fool's Day. So these are pranks that your kids would totally fall for. So this is some stuff that you could do today. Put a bowl of your kid's favorite cereal and milk in the freezer, and then watch them as they try to take a spoon of frozen cereal. Maybe I should have shared this last week. Put a twist on the sunny side up egg. Half a peach in yogurt apparently looks like.
Oh.
But it's still delicious,
Yeah, it
they
does.
say, so you can still eat it too. Another thing on here, stuff toilet paper into the toe of your kid's shoes. Especially fun when they're trying to get their feet into the shoe and it doesn't fit. Heidi's rolling her eyes. Apparently none of these are good.
I'm sorry, but
Heidi's the queen. We'll talk about yours in a minute. Put a for sale sign in the front yard. Confuse your kids on the ride to school by sticking a sign on the rear of your vehicle that says honk and wave at my kid, put their name, but don't let the kids know that.
that's really dangerous.
Yeah, it's probably a horrible idea. Make chocolate chip cookies out of mashed potatoes and black beans. Put a photocopy of your face under the toilet seat and close the lid. Make candied apples, but onions instead. Your kids will find it hilarious.
Oh, yeah,
in
they
a
will.
decade or two.
They'll be crying.
Mashed potato sundae is another fun surprise. So they make it look like ice cream. A glass of juice is really Jell-O, so when they try to take a sip, it's just solid. Tell your kids you can give them an iPad, but then you just give them an eye patch because apparently there's an eye
I've
patch
seen
that's
that
called an
online,
iPad.
yeah.
And I go, well, that's not what you had in mind. Now, Heidi is the queen at this. Her advice would be way better. We're not going to get into details. I will just say this. There was one time the police were involved. In a good way, though, if there's any such thing. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited for a very special Movie Star Monday because we've got Tim Blake Nelson joining us and his son. And we'll get to the son here in a second. But Tim Blake Nelson, you know him for so many movies. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? The Incredible Hulk, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Holes. I mean, I'm looking through this list. Old Henry. I mean, it just, as you go through, there's so many fun, amazing, huge projects he's had a chance to be a part of. And now he's working with his son on the first project they've done together like this anyway. It's called Asleep in My Palm. And Henry Nelson is joining us in addition to Tim Blake Nelson. And Henry, we're going to start with you because Asleep in My Palm, this is your baby. This is your brainchild. Tell me a little bit about what the inspiration was for this film.
Well, I was in school. There was a year where I lived really far away from campus. I was on this block where there were all these houses. There were 2 or 3 houses that were always housing a rotation of students, you know. Everybody else, all the other houses were families, and sometimes 4 or 5 families to a house, these 100-year-old tiny houses. And, thinking that just sort of got me thinking a lot more about the relationship between liberal arts schools and then the places where they exist.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of the country. And then I remember actually seeing a guy and his maybe daughter, maybe granddaughter riding together on a lawnmower to the Mickey Mart down the street. And I thought, well, that's going to go in the movie.
And we get to see that play out in the film. Again, it's called Asleep in My Palm. Also on the line right now, we have his father, Tim Blake Nelson, from the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?, from Holes, from a bunch of other great stuff. And Tim, I got to say, you always pick really fun movies to be a part of. And this character is a little different than most of the characters we see you play.
Yeah, and Henry wrote a great character, and it was a privilege to get to play this character and be guided by Henry in the playing of this character, and in some senses develop the character with Henry, that's great to do with a writer director, to be able to collaborate in the building of a character. But then when it's your son and he comes to you with something that's all his own and he wants you to embody it, I couldn't think of a greater privilege. And when I read this script, I was just astounded at what Henry had brought.
So, Henry, when you were writing this character, did you have your father in mind for this role from the beginning?
It was originally going to be my teacher. When I was writing the first draft of the script, I thought that maybe it was something I was going to make for about $5,000 if I was lucky enough to get a student grant. And then I finished it. And then I showed it to Dad, and Dad said, well, I want to play this guy.
Nice.
And then that sort of kicked it into a whole other reality. And then I went back and I rewrote the character entirely. And then I showed that to Dad. And then together we, from there, went even further in rewriting the character and building this guy, Tom. The original version of Tom is unrecognizable from what you see. Originally, he sort of talks like a bro and was sort of based off this old music teacher I had many moons ago.
Well, you've done a great job because all the way through, we're rooting for you guys. Now, the young lady in the film, is she in a bunch of other stuff or is she new?
This is her first film.
She was just in this big Chevy campaign, actually. So folks might really actually recognize her from that now.
Her name is Chloe Kerwin, and this was her first feature. It's her debut.
She did an amazing job, and I'm sure we're going to see her in other things. And so, Henry, what was it like working with your dad on this project?
It was absolutely the best.
And Tim, what was it like working with your son? You think he's going to make it in this business?
I'm so proud of him. I love working with him, and we are going to keep doing it. We're about to direct a music video together. We have
our 5th music video together or something like that, too.
Very cool.
It's really interesting to do these music videos with Dad because it's our same dynamic with doing the feature stuff, but then it's like with only 5 crew members.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it a bunch, guys.
Of course, man.
Again, this film is called Asleep in My Palm. It is streaming right now, and I will throw a link to the trailer so you can see it and also a link to find it in streaming. And again, our guest today on this Movie Star Monday, Tim Blake Nelson and his son Henry Nelson, and the two of them work together on this project. Like I said, I've got all the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Whether you have a credit card now and need a better credit card, or if you don't even have a credit card but you'd like to get a good one, we would love to help at bettercreditcards.com. We offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or or a credit card to help you build your credit. We can help you find a good fit for you at bettercreditcards.com.
Give yourself a little credit
At bettercreditcards.com.
to bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Ulcers are more aggravated by decaf coffee than regular coffee. How crazy is that? You wouldn't think that.
Interesting. No.
But apparently they don't like decaf either. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Giraffes were once known as camel leopards. So that's what we used to call them. And then somebody's like, that's a bit confusing. Is it a camel? Is it a leopard? They're like, no, neither. It's a giraffe. Well, let's just call them that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Contrary to popular belief, blowing into old video game cartridges did not fix them by removing dust. It was reinserting the cartridge that fixed the connection. So the blowing thing had nothing to do with it. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The modern popped collar originated as a way to keep tennis players' necks from getting sunburnt. Oh,
I like that.
that does make sense. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
People fluent in multiple languages almost always swear in their native tongue.
That
Well,
makes
that's
sense.
Good to know. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
So how do you like these gas prices? Not great, huh? How would you like to save money every time you get gas? I've been using this app for a few years and it's amazing. You can find out more at radiosavings.com. When I first heard about it, I didn't think we'd have this in our area, but they seem to have stuff all over the place. You can sign up for free and try it for yourself. They have savings on gas, but on many other things too, like restaurants and convenience stores. Try it for free at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. Question, Heidi. Only 8% of women say they own 10 or more of these. What are they? I don't think you do. I think you own maybe one or two.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
Perfumes.
Oh,
Why would anybody need 10 or more? Does that seem like a lot?
that seems like a lot of
How many different
scents.
perfumes do you have?
4.
4. Oh, yeah, see, and I've only think I've really noticed one or
I
two.
wear one
Yeah.
most of the time.
That's
but
your
I
signature
do,
scent.
Yes, it is.
It's referred to as Heidi. It's
Yes,
available
it is.
everywhere fine perfumes are sold. It's probably under a different name. All right, Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of mintervention.com.
Do you have a mobile phone? How much do you pay every month? If that number is more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. I never thought I'd say this, but the latest social media trend among 20-somethings is Facebook. Yeah,
No
again.
way.
Yeah, it actually involves the resurgence of a charming old feature that you might have forgotten about. Young people apparently are really into poking one another.
Oh my! That is the dumbest feature in my opinion.
Ever since a design change made the button more visible to users, Meta reports that pokes have increased 13 times.
That's fantastic.
More than half of these pokes are by users age 18 to 29. The funny thing is, Facebook never actually specified what the poke is for. Some of us use it to say hello. Others digitally flirt with a poke. And some annoy their enemies. We're not sure what Zoomers are using it for, but chances are Meta is just thrilled that they're actually cool again, at least to that generation. I know some friends of mine who were on Facebook for years who just went away, and I have one that just like their account just started working in, they're back. And at first I was like, did somebody hack that account? And it was like, oh no, I crawled back. I'm back. I was like, I never left. I'm here. I don't use it as much as I used to, but it's cool. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show for all the cool kids. Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
It's time now for the list brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Okay, the 2024 World Happiness Report is out. Heidi, first of all, are you happy?
I'm usually happy.
You seem pretty happy. The number one country. Who do you think is the happiest country in the world?
Oh gosh.
Happiest country. I'll give you the top 20. How's that sound? And I'm going to just dive right in. United Kingdom is 20. Lithuania, Czechoslovakia, Ireland, Belgium. Canada is number 15. Then we get to Austria, Kuwait, Costa Rica, New Zealand. Number 10 is Australia. Switzerland is 9. Luxembourg is 8. Norway 7. Netherlands 6. Israel 5. Sweden 4, Iceland 3, Denmark 2, and the number one happiest country in the world for 7 straight years, Finland. Yeah. And you might be going, wait a minute, did I hear United States? No, they're number 22 on the list. Yeah, so
I do love Finland.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting that that's the list. And, happiness report. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, but they have some sort of database that I'm pretty happy. I'm just saying. Heidi seems happy. Are you happy? If you're happy, be happy no matter what this list says. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Can your IRA or 401k stand up to the next financial crisis? By allocating a percentage of your retirement into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns. Safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Protect your retirement today with a simple phone call and receive your free gold and silver guide. Call 1-800-200-GOLD or visit genesisgoldira.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of insurancechicken.com. W.C. Fields. He always had some fun things to say, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like this. I think we might have even had this hanging on the wall in our kitchen for a while. It says, I always cook with wine.
Yeah,
sometimes I even add it to the food.
Yes, we did.
We had a wine kitchen for a while. Where did all that where did all that go? Do we have any of that anymore?
Just a couple of the things.
For a while there, it was kind of ridiculous. We had like wine corks
everywhere.
and
but
wine.
You know what? I think most people kind of did that.
That was Heidi's
there for
theme
a while.
for a bit.
Yeah.
Quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of insurancechicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. What are you doing that? You're like shaking your head all funny.
Because you always say it with the same cadence, so
Oh, so that's your dance? You have a dance for what I say around here?
I have a dance for when you're speaking.
Well, I like that. That's very nice. You know what else is very nice? Our good news today. Margot Robbie is our good news today from Brisbane, Australia. Margot Robbie's heartwarming surprise visit brightens the lives at Young Care Oz.
Aww.
So this is kind of cool. I think she seems like a neat lady, by the way. I don't know her personally. We don't hang out. But I've liked her. Yeah, well, no, we've never. We've tried. She's just like, for some reason she keeps outrunning us. But Margot Robbie recently demonstrated
Which is tough in those heels.
Yeah. She recently demonstrated her heart of gold during a surprise visit to Young Care Oz, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting young Australians with high care disabilities. In a touching display of compassion, she took time out of her busy schedule to visit this place. And the surprise visit came during her recent trip to Australia to receive a prestigious Trailblazer Award from AACTA. Instead of basking solely in the limelight of her accolades, she chose to make a meaningful impact and connect with those in need while she was there. There are a bunch of residents that had so much fun visiting with her. Reflecting on her visit, they had just wonderful things to say as well. It sounds like she didn't just show up and go, okay, take the picture. Okay, I'm leaving now. Like she hung out and they happened to get some pictures, but she wasn't just there for like a photo op, which I think is really, really cool. She spent some meaningful time and they said her genuine commitment to use her star power to support people is just really, really nice. So I love that.
Very sweet.
Now, I don't know if you guys know this. Last year she was in a very popular movie. It was called Barbie.
It was.
Remember that?
I do.
But she was also in a movie that I thought was pretty doggone good. It was called I, Tonya. Remember that?
That was a long time ago.
That was a couple years ago. But I thought that she did such an amazing job of becoming Tonya Harding. And she made you, even though the story, I don't know how true that was, but there were good parts and bad parts, but she made you really kind of fall in love with Tonya Harding. I was like, afterwards, I felt bad for Tonya Harding. And then I had people going, yeah, I don't believe that movie. Like, I don't know. I believe Margot Robbie is what I'm saying. All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.